Hi, I'm Cindy Bertram. Thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. And yes, I'm going to share some really exciting things that are going on this week in the cruise industry, but also something I want to share too is we actually have another hurricane hitting in the south. Ernesto is the hurricane's name, and what they did was it had avoided some areas in the Caribbean. It was getting close to San Juan, Puerto Rico. I think it, and that was moving over on the other side of Florida. But now the big thing is it was getting close to Bermuda. And what cruise line's been doing is, of course, they're very, very proactive. So once again, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, that's very important for people to know because once again, you can move a ship out of the hurricane path, which is great. Unfortunately, when we deal with different destinations, they can't do that. But once again, that's also where cruise lines also step in afterwards. But I know this one um, hurricane's name was Ernesto, and cruise lines operating their Caribbean sailings altered their itineraries to avoid Hurricane Ernesto. And some examples that just came up, of course, too, is I know that the Norwegian Breakaway, which cruised out of Miami on August 11th for a 7-night Eastern Caribbean itinerary, instead was sailing on a Western Caribbean cruise, which was going to include calls at Roatan, Honduras, Costa Maya, and Cozumel, Mexico, and of course their private out island in Belize, Harvest Caye. Also, with the Norwegian Skies August 12th cruise out of Miami, it was supposed to sail on a 9-night Eastern Caribbean route. It was now sailing Western Caribbean too. And it was going to go to same destinations as the Breakaway along with Grand Cayman and Ocho Rios, Jamaica. So definitely that's one thing good enough too because cruise lines can move the ships around. Also, I know another thing came up too is because with the hurricane it was now going closer on the one side, up getting closer towards Bermuda. So the cruise lines that have ships sailing to Bermuda are moving their ships around, obviously. Um, what they did was a good example, Norwegian Joy, their August 12th 7-night Bermuda cruise, which was departing from New York City, was they changed to arrive in Bermuda on August 13th, a day earlier. Then the vessel was still going to overnight at the Royal Naval Dockyard for 2 days, then depart on August 16th. And also with the Royal Caribbean, their Icon of Seas was currently sailing on a 7-night Western Caribbean itinerary on August 12th. And they did that route instead of having it go to their scheduled Eastern Caribbean sailing. Okay, another example is Rhapsody of the Seas, which is another Royal Caribbean ship. Their August 11th sailing was supposed to, they swapped their ports of call and spent a day at sea on August 12th and visited Bridgetown, Barbados on August 13th, Castries, St. Lucia on August 14th, St. John's and Antigua August 15th, Phillipsburg, St. Martin on August 16th, and then St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands on August 17th. Another example of a Bermuda cruise that was affected too was Carnival Pride. It was sailing on a Bermuda cruise from Baltimore, and the ship's 2-day visit to Bermuda arrived on August 13th, and they departed August 15th, a day earlier than scheduled, to get the ship back safely. And then also, I know that the Carnival Magic was now sailing to Eastern Caribbean from Miami. It canceled their visit to San Juan, Puerto Rico on August 14th. They're visiting Nassau instead on August 16th. Another one was Symphony of the Seas, which was sailing on a 9-day sailing visiting Nassau, Bahamas in place of Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. So once again, it's said here about hurricanes hitting, but once again, the cruise lines move the ships around to keep the passengers safe, as well as their crew and the ship. And once again, if something does come up as far as issues that come up in those different islands of the Caribbean, in the past, the cruise lines jump in to help out and volunteer. One year, I can't remember the name of the hurricane, but it actually impacted, San Juan, Puerto Rico so bad, also used Virgin Islands, but the cruise lines actually dropped off supplies, which is wonderful. And one time, that same year, is when it hit St. Thomas so bad, people were stranded at the airport. Norwegian Cruise Line had a ship that was moving out separately, not sailing. They canceled the cruise, sailing out. They had provisions on board, etc. They went to the U.S. Virgin Islands, and what they did, St. Thomas, what they did was they dropped off supplies, plus they actually had those 1,200 guests stranded at the airport. They brought them back on the ship to Miami, which is great too. So once again, cruise lines they help like that like crazy, which is great to know too. So once again, what the good thing is too is I feel so bad about people that are affected by those islands, but the cruise lines actually can move their itineraries around so they stay out of the path of the hurricane. So definitely let's keep those people in our thoughts and prayers too, because once again, it just came up, and I think Ernesto's getting closer to Bermuda. I'm not sure about the updates yet too, but I'll keep you posted next week too. But once again, just it's a good thing to keep that in mind too, because we need it more than ever too. So yes, going back to some official news that's really, really fun is with Disney Cruise Line. It's official. They're going to be building 4 new ships. Yes. They just made the announcement on August 11th because there have been a lot of rumors about Disney Cruise Line expanding their ships, and it came true Saturday night with the announcement of the 4 new ships, which sounds absolutely phenomenal. They made the news, of course, at Disney Company's annual fan event. But anyway, they're still in the process of coming up with the names of the ships, of course, too. And they're still working about the development, the itineraries. But now they've got 5 ships currently sailing in the fleet. They've got 4 already being built that they'll be adding to their ships. Then that's going to bring the Disney Cruise Line fleet to 13 ships in 2031. Currently on their order book right now, we've got the Disney Treasure, which is set to enter service on December this year from Port Canaveral. And then Disney Destiny is going to be delivered in 2025. And then the Disney Adventure, which is a 208,000 gross registered ship, is being completed, and it's planned for a 2025 debut in Singapore. And then recently also, Oriental Land Company, which owns and operates Disney parks in Tokyo, ordered a Wish-class ship for Japan, which is going to be expected to be delivered in 2028. And Meyer has been behind all the Disney Cruise Line ships, apart from the first 2, which was the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder. And those 2 ships were actually built, constructed by Fincantieri. But I had a chance to see on the Disney Magic the first year she came out, and it was just a phenomenal experience. I mean, wonderful. Just a beautiful experience. And we went to the private island. It was great. We docked right there. And also what I liked too myself is we had different places we dined every night. We would switch dining experiences every night, but our staff members, our waiter, assistant waiter, they went with us, and it was different themes every night. It was fantastic. And we had adults only area just for entertainment on one part of the ship, plus they had children's areas too, but their private outline was just beautiful. And that was one of the first ships actually had a chance to actually dock at the private island. It was wonderful. Got a chance to spend the day there, which is great. It was just fantastic. And as far as the Disney Destiny, which is coming out later in 2025, they just announced some things about they're going to have a signature production show for the theme, which is on board that ship, and it's going to be called Hercules. It's a signature production show on the ship. It's going to be themed on heroes and villains, okay? That's going to take place on the Disney Destiny. And then they mentioned some other things too. I know that, but how fun that they've got 4 new ships they're going to be building to, in addition to the new ships too. It's coming out too, which is fun. So once again, keep that in mind, because Disney does a great job, and it's a great, great, great experience for families with kids. But they've got adult-only areas too. They've got, like I said, adult-only entertainment area, one side of the ship, pool areas too, different places for kids to really enjoy the ship too. So keep that in mind too, because once again, and the entertainment is fantastic, and they've got the Disney themes on board, which is great too. But keep that in mind too, because they just announced it, and with these 4 new ships are being built now, they just announced they will be entering service between 2027 and 2021, which is great. And they haven't really announced the ship names yet, but they will. Don't worry, they will. So once again, but the excitement is we've got the Disney Treasure coming out this December. She'll be sailing from Port Canaveral, which is great. And the Disney Destiny is going to be delivered in later 2025. So those are 2 ships that will be focused once again on more the U.S. market, etc. too. But that's really a fun thing to share too. So yes, Disney's building foreigner ships. They just announced it, so that's good too. Something else too is we've got another beautiful, beautiful cruise line, Explorer Journeys, and they're actually owned by the MSC Group. It's family owned, and MSC Group actually owns MSC Cruises. They've got Explorer Journeys, which is their luxury cruise line, plus they also have their MSC Foundation, which is fantastic. And of course, what they do too is the family actually got into the maritime industry years and years ago, hundreds of years ago, with container shipping company too, which they built too. I'll share more about that later on too. But once again, they've got Explorer Journeys has got their first ship came out last year. Wrote about Explorer 1, and it's really bringing the ocean life to sea. It's very, very small number of guests on board, luxury, high-end luxury, just great things they're doing. But also they've got the Explorer 2, which is going to be coming out this September, their second ship, which is great. And they just made some announcements because they've got some announcements about where they're going to be sailing too, which is great. They will be sailing late 2024 in the Caribbean, which is great. That's good to know too, because once again, Explorer Journeys, as mentioned, it's luxury lifestyle. And what they're doing is Explorer 2, which is going to be arriving in the Caribbean in November 2024 this year, and Explorer 1 will be arriving in the Caribbean in December this year. Guests can really enjoy different places in the Caribbean, which is great. And they're going to visit a wide array of places in the Caribbean, which is great too, until March of 2025, which is great. And something else they announced was, as far as the destination experiences, they will include some highlights they mentioned was Williamstead, Curacao, and they're going to also go to Martinique, okay, and also Les Antilles in the French West Indies. And then they've got Gustavia, St. Bartholomew. Also, they've got Progreso in Mexico, and then they've got Cozumel, Mexico. What they do is they've got different things to be doing for guests, some special destination experiences too, which is great. So that sounds phenomenal, doesn't it? Because once again, the Caribbean is a great place to go, but when you've got special experiences there in the Caribbean that guests can actually enjoy, which is great. And once again, with Explorer Journeys, they're luxury, and they really their lifestyle brand is really like bringing the ocean life to sea too, which is great too. And as mentioned, Explorer 1 actually will be arriving in the Caribbean in November this year, and Explorer 2 will start sailing in the Caribbean in December this year too, so that's great. So just fun stuff to do too, and have different destinations that they're going to be visiting too. And as mentioned, it's luxury and too, and so exciting. Their second ship is coming up. Then later this year, they got a couple more Explorer Journey ships coming out too, which I'll share about more in a future episode of Good Ship Happens. Also, we've got some fun things that just came up too. This was really exciting. Victory Cruise Lines. And what happened was Victory Cruise Lines was around, and then what happened was the ships were acquired by American Queen Voyages. John Wagner was actually the president, but actually was part of, I think, Victory Cruise Lines before. But anyway, they had actually purchased the 2 Victory Cruise Line ships that were operating under American Queen Voyages. and they started sailing in 2022. And what was really, really good was with the Victory Cruise Line ships, they're very, very small. What they did was they were offering these special itineraries. One was actually sailing through the Great Lakes, which is great. I had a chance to actually be on board their one ship when she's sailing before she sailed out of Navy Pier, Chicago, and she's going through the Great Lakes up to Canada and then coming back. It was great to experience the ship. It was very small, but once again, beautiful things. And then their other ship was sailing too. But what they did was, what happened was, unfortunately, the parent company that actually took over American Queen Voyages, actually, Hornblow Group, they filed bankruptcy, and they actually put those ships in the market. But John Wagner, who actually had been part of Victory Cruise Lines before, and then was president of American Queen Voyages before they went under, actually, he decided to invest and buy those two Victory Cruise Line ships. Yes. And they're restarting. I had a wonderful phone call conversation with him on Monday. Yes, earlier this week. It really made my week. Yes. Because what they're doing is they're really, really so excited. He pulled back his crew together, which is great. We had a great conversation. And John Wagner is actually reviving these Victory Cruise Lines on the Great Lakes. It was very enthusiastic. It was so great to have a good conversation, too, because once again, they've got, like I said, they're doing some wonderful things, too. And once again, it goes back to they're doing some renovations on their ships, too, but they're in great shape, too, once again. So they're going to be sailing the Great Lakes instead of Seacoast, which is more, which is great, too. And also, I know that they're doing different things. They're going to start actually sailing in 2025 next year, and he actually closed on the deal for the Victory 1 and the Victory 2 about maybe 70 days ago. And what they did was these ships actually accommodated 190 guests each, okay? And so what he did was he actually bought those two Victory Cruise Line ships. They're doing some renovations, updatings on them too. And once again, they've got their inaugural, which is going to take place April 16th, 2025. It's going to be a cruise from Portland, Maine to Toronto. And this 11-night voyage will be hosted by John Wagner and his wife, Claudine, which is great, yes. And they're sending out special invitations to people that are part of the Steamboat Society of America. And like I said, this is a special inaugural cruise, April 16th next year. Boat cruise from Portland, Maine to Toronto. And it's just, as he mentioned, it's just a beautiful way to really, really see the world. And the good thing is, hardly anybody gets into Nova Scotia and to St. Lawrence Seaway too, because it's just a small area. And once again, as far as the godmother, yes, it was just announced too. John Wagner's daughter, Emily, is going to be godmother for the Victory 1's festivities April 27th in Toronto, which is great. So once again, and then from there, the Victory Cruise Lines will go into 10-night itineraries. And what they did was, they did mention one of the most popular trips had been their Chicago-Toronto and Toronto-Chicago. And he mentioned, yes, you've got to hit all 5 Great Lakes and such great cities, departing from Navy Pier in Chicago, which is about an hour away from me too. And that great vibe, because you can see beautiful areas, Mackinac Island, Sault Ste. Marie, Detroit, Cleveland, Niagara Falls, and then Toronto. And they've got another 15-night itinerary round trip from Chicago, goes deeper into the Lake Superior. And he mentioned he's been mulling what he calls his crazy ideas, inspired by his son-in-law, Brendan. He's a Navy engineer, and they're considering deployment at different places too, which is great. And then once again, they're having, what they're doing is they're already opening up sales. And in the meantime, Victory 1's already operating on a charter, which is great. And they're providing housing to dredge company working on the MSC Ocean Cay Marine Reserve in the Bahamas. They'll be there from 60 to 90 days, which is good. But also, once again, the charges means it's cash in the door, which is great, but also a chance to really get the vessel back in operation, get the crew on board, and get that mechanical, the kinks out of the ship too, which is great too. And then the Victory 2 remains in Portland, was undergoing some work. And then the vessel's naming ceremonies are planned for May 12th next year. Yes, guess where? Chicago's Navy Pier. So Victory 2 will be doing her inaugural festivities on May 12th next year from Chicago's Navy Pier. And as mentioned, I talked to John Wagner Monday, and he was so excited. He's got his team back together, so excited, just really, really enthusiastic. He's a great person, too. And what they're doing right now, too, is they've got Victory Fares, Victory Cruises. They include a pre-night hotel stay and transfers. Okay, that's included. They include a shore excursion for every port. Unlimited beverages and Wi-Fi. Prices, their lists and prices, once again, too, is, if the good thing is, too, is with the global unrest, they mention, people still want to travel, but they want to see maybe closer to home. So once again, the Great Lakes is really ideal for people, even more seasoned travelers, too, which is great, too, including the rare exploration of Lake Superior. And he's just so excited, and I just was so excited to talk to him, too, because he answered my call. We had a great conversation, so I'm so excited about this. It just really was a situation that really, really made my day. Yes, it was, but I'm so glad that they're relaunching, and it's going to be Victory Cruises, Victory Cruise Lines, with their 2 ships, which are small, but once again, think about it. They're including the one-night pre-cruise hotel stay, transfers, free shore excursions included, which is great, free Wi-Fi, wonderful things like that too, which is great. And once again, the ships are very small, maybe 200 guests, I believe, I think, capacity, I'm not sure, but, and 190 passengers. But when I actually had a chance to see the Victory 1, she had a different name, when she was sailing under American Voyages, it was really a gorgeous ship. The areas for dining were wonderful, just really, really fantastic. The crew was so happy too. So this was really such an exciting thing to start my week on Monday. So once again, keep Victory Cruise Lines in mind too, just in case you're thinking about maybe doing something a little bit different on the Great Lakes, but wonderful too. So keep that in mind, because it's just beautiful. Great, great opportunity to think about too, just in case you want to maybe try something a little bit more exclusive and local too. Something else that I want to share too is with, we've got, of course, Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours, which is part of the Globus family, just launched a new series of wellness retreat cruises. Yes. And they just announced this, and they're known for their Discovery yachts and river cruise voyages, and they just unveiled 3 new wellness retreat cruises that they provide really rejuvenating experiences while sailing. Scenic has 3 wellness retreat cruises planned, and there's one in 2024 this year. They've got 2 coming up next year in 2025, and they're visiting destinations such as Brazil and Valparaiso. And once again, with each wellness retreat, it's really a distinct range of different things, experiences, designed to cater to all aspects of well-being. So guests can really engage in master classes titled Healthy Cooking. Yes. They've got one called Smoothie Power Sessions. I think you can probably make a smoothie, which is great, but I think that sounds wonderful, doesn't it? I love the cooking classes too. How fun. And they've also got participating in immersive workshops and topics that include massage basics and also headache relief. And then these retreats also include daily activities such as yoga, Pilates, full body stretch classes. Guests can participate in circuit training, also calisthenics sessions. They've got sessions to really alleviate foot discomfort, also Zumba, to elevate spirits through rhythmic dances, which is great. They've got also some other activities include their fit ball classes for pain relief. And they've got Tibetan bowls, which is and then a variety of lectures and workshops, things too, by experts too. So that sounds great, doesn't it? And then they also have holistic benefits too, promoting relaxation, vitality, and also self-care. And then this inaugural retreat, as mentioned, is going to come up this year. Yes, it's going to be sailing from Barbados to Brazil on November 5th, and it's going to be offering a rejuvenating 12-day voyage through the stunning Caribbean waters to the remote shores of French Guiana and the beaches of Brazil. And on board, guests will have a chance to really experience a scenic eclipse. They've got this, it's a 5,920 feet, it's 4 senses spa. They've got a cold plunge pool, yes, cold plunge pool, on the ship, not off the ship, on the ship. And they've got a vitality pool. Also, the journey includes some luxurious days at sea with wellness classes, also some enriching shore excursions too. And then in 2026, Scenic is going to also have a second 10-day wellness cruise wellness cruise retreat on their scenic eclipse. And guests can have a chance to sail from Barbados and then into the Canary Islands, also a blend of culture and beauty. And the cruise, which departs on April 24th, has only a few stops. And passengers can really enjoy relaxation, self-care, indulgence. And during those days at sea, guests could actually take advantage of the all-inclusive spa program with facilities that include infrared and biosaunas. Once again, that cold plunge pool, right? And then they've got, of course, their salt therapy lounge with ocean views. And then the third wellness treat, which is coming up in 2026, is actually a journey from Panama City to Santiago. It's designed for those seeking self-care and relaxation. It's a 10-day voyage, and it features tranquil days at sea where guests can really immerse themselves in expert-led yoga, Pilates. They've got meditation practices. They've got smoothing sound healing sessions. So I think that sounds really fun because, once again, they've got a series of new wellness retreat cruises with Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours. They're known for their Discovery Lodge. So that's really fun too. I think that's fun too. And then something else too they just announced too with Scenic is like we're talking about Scenic is they've got something they just announced this week, yesterday. They're going to actually showcase Broadway star Carrie St. Louis on an October sailing from New York, while the noted chef Ben Robinson is known below the deck will return to Emerald Cruises in January. They just announced that. And as far as the actress, okay, Broadway star the Broadway actress, which is great, Carrie St. Louis, they mention she's appeared as Glenda in Wicked, Broadway National Tour, also shared in The Rock of Ages, also Rose in the Titanic, which is an off-Broadway show, and also Lauren in the closing cast of the Tony Award-winning musical Kinky Boots on Broadway. And she's going to be joining Scenic Eclipse Sounds of Discovery sailing on October 12th. So passengers can choose between a 5-day Bermuda escape or actually a 13-day journey to the Bahamas with a stop in Miami. And while on board, St. Louis is going to deliver a series of performances and also participate and answer different sessions and photo opportunities too. And also Ben Robertson, who's known best for his role on Bravo's TV Below Deck series, will return to Emerald Cruises for a third appearance. This one on the Emerald Azores, January 25th, the Caribbean cruise. And this 7-night voyage travels from St. John's Antigua to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And guests will have an opportunity to really mingle with the chef throughout the journey, starting with a welcome cocktail reception. Also, an interactive cooking demonstration will offer participants a chance to learn and really create one of Robinson's dishes too. In addition, cruisers can actually live out below deck fantasies during a gourmet multi-course dinner with dishes crafted by Robinson from locally sourced Korean ingredients and served at La Cocina. And once again, that just came out too, but how exciting that once again, Scenic Luxury Cruises is offering these special wellness retreats, plus they've got some special cruises coming out too with very, very famous people, including, of course, Broadway star, of course, Carrie St. Louis, and also, of course, we've got noted chef Ben Robinson too, which is great too. So keep that in mind too, because those are fun things coming up. Because there's so many wonderful things to do as far as different cruise lines too. I think it's really fun too. So once again, just keep that in mind too. But once again, I shared more about Victory Cruise Lines. I was so excited when I heard what they're doing. Had a chance to talk to John, who is the president chairman, and once again, he's so excited. Once again, it's great what they're doing too. So once again, keep that in mind too, because once again, the Great Lakes are really great places to view. And the two ships they have, the Victory 1 and Victory 2, are gorgeous. I had a chance to see the Victory 1 myself. But definitely keep that in mind because it's so exciting too. And something else that came up too is I talked about what the MSC Cruises. And once again, what they do is they offer different itineraries in the Caribbean, also over in Europe. But one thing they just mentioned I thought would be good for people to know too is... this just came up too. MSC Cruises is owned by MSC Group, and the MSC Group actually is owned by the parent company, which is the Mediterranean Shipping Company. Also, with the Mediterranean Shipping Company, that's their container shipping company, which has been around for hundreds of years. And then once again, too, with their foundation, it really is a way to kind of give back and donate. One thing they do too is they've planted coral trees at their private out island, the Ocean Cay Embassy Marine Reserve too. And they're really, really focused on sustainability. One thing that came out this week too is, or last week actually, Rick Sanso, who's actually chairman of MSA, had a chance to do a guest speaker at the special event, and I got a chance to watch it online later on, but it was really great because once again, it was great what they did too. He shared more about their efforts as far as sustainability too. But this was actually a recap. I had a chance to watch the recap video, which they filmed too, but it was just a conversation about reaching net zero goals. And it was great because once again, he mentioned things that they're doing with MSC Cruises, of course. He's chairman of their U.S. office, but also doing as far as their parent company. And one thing that just came up this week, Rick mentioned it on his presentation, was that with the MSC Container Shipping Company, of course, they've got their containers, which is great. What they're doing now is MSC Cruises, as well as Explorer Journeys, they're going to be using these smart containers from their sister company, MSC, to really ensure the freshest produce is actually loaded on the on the line ships after they get delivered from the warehouse. Once again, too, it's good to know that with the cruise industry, what they do is they actually purchase things, of course. They source out about 96% of their food locally, okay, which is great. But once again, sometimes they can't do it. So once again, too, is what they do is this is relatively new. They just announced it, and from their Italian warehouse in Genoa, last year MSC Cruises started using smart containers and really saw an improvement as far as the quality of assurance than they had in 2022 when they used traditional means of transporting food by road and sea. So once again, it really is a nice way to kind of leverage what they're doing at their parent company, the MSC Container Shipping Company, and they've got these smart containers. And as mentioned, the use of their smart containers has really made a significant positive impact on the supply of food, especially in markets where there's a chance to maybe source locally and get all their products locally, which is important too. And one example was mentioned was their ships from the Middle East on the local production is limited, so sometimes goods can take 2 several weeks to travel from the warehouse to the vessel, and that's kind of a problem too. It's once again a problem, of course, in transit during the transportation of goods to a road, or it really continues like a landlord as far as the flyer can resolve that issue. So once again, what they're doing too is this is really, I think, fun, because with these smart containers that MSC Cruises is using along Explore Journeys, these smart containers are particularly beneficial for chilled and frozen foods such as meats, seafood, and dairy produce. And once again, it really is really considerable when it comes to food delivery operation. A good example, okay, every year MSC Cruises fleet of 22 ships right now is stocked with 5,500 different items of food and beverages, including, get this, 32 million eggs, 6 million liters of milk, 170,000 oysters, 2 million tomatoes. They've got a 900,000 kilograms of apples and 800,000 kilograms of lemons. Okay, and each of their ships on average actually also carries 22,500 kilograms of fresh fruit, 20,000 kilograms of fresh vegetables, and 5,400 kilograms of fish during a 7-night cruise voyage alone. Once again, with MSC Cruises and other ships too, they go beyond just a 7-night cruise, of course. They've got shorter cruises too, but once again, this is an example of what the ship carries just with MSC Cruises alone. And, as mentioned, what they covered, their 22 ships, kind of interesting too, with 5,500 different types of items of food and beverage too, but 32 million eggs is one example I mentioned. They've got 2 million tomatoes. They've got 800,000 kilograms of lemons. They've got 5 million liters of milk and more. So once again, this just kind of came up. And so once again, it's a great way for them to really leverage their parent company's containers to really keep food at its freshest point for MSC Cruises, which they own, plus Explore Journeys, which is a luxury cruise line. And as mentioned, this was just announced this week on August 14th, which is great. So once again, with the smart containers, think about it. It's really, it's temperature control, temperature and humidity, which is great too, and it really is a great way for them to really, really ensure that their food they're transporting with them is very safe, of course. Besides, once again too, they do actually source about 96% of their food locally, but sometimes if a product's not available in the area, they take goods on their ships too, just as a series of warehouses in the world too, which is great. And that's one thing that Rick Sassa, who is the president of MSC Cruises, he's actually chairman of MSC Cruises USA, mentioned when he's doing that special event conversation with the future as far as the cruising. It was a recap, but it was great because once again, Rick did mention that. He also mentioned sustainability is really part of their vision too at MSC Cruises, and of course their parent company, and also Explorer Journeys, because he mentioned it's really the core of everything that the company does. And also, a good note too is they're family owned. It's more important to be that aggressive and more important to be focused on that too. And once again, Rick had mentioned too in his presentation that the company's really engaging with scientific technologies to really ensure that their ships are using the highest performance engines and fuels that are safest as far as the oceans. And they do a annual sustainability report every year. And once again, I know that MSC Cruises is growing. They are working on having a new cruise terminal. And once again, too, is I know they're connecting with shore power at Port Miami. And once again, cruise lines are really, really building ships with a future for sustainability engine technologies, too. They've got 32 different pilot projects, too. And once again, in the 2014 24 State of the Cruise Industry report done by the Cruise Lines International Association, they mentioned that 24 ships right now are just trialing biofuels. Another 4 ships are really sealing with this renewable biofuels too. And that's important to mention too, because once again, it really is, he just said, it's something that we're doing, okay? And once again, it's kind of fun that they're doing different things, and they're really, really focusing on sustainability and whatever. Not just MSC Cruises and Explorer Journeys, but the whole cruise industry is doing that too. But it's great to hear Rick talk about this topic, and they asked a lot of questions. But once again, it was good because once again, besides MSC Cruises, there are several other Miami-based cruise companies too, of course. But once again, they're also working on their own decarbonization strategies, such as ships that are powered by liquefied natural gas, which is LNG, and also shore power connections, which allows the ships to actually turn off engines and plug into the landside electrical power while docked. So I think that's really, really fun to think about too. It's so good to hear Rick talk about this when he's a guest on this special Opportunity Miami event that took place about a week ago in Miami, which is great. And once again, he did talk more about their embassy containers, and then I ran across an article about that too. So keep that in mind, because that's really kind of fun thing too, because once again, cruise lines, they really have jumped forward on sustainability. Once again, several years ago, they eliminated plastic straws. They did, okay? Also, they recycle and make sure that they don't just throw things in the ocean. They recycle things and bring them back different places too. Once again, besides that, also moving into using shore power to actually keep their ships connected, where they don't have to actually go through their own fuel, which is great. Also using liquefied natural gas, which is one alternative to regular gas for their ships. And also with the cruise industries, Cruise Lines International Associations, their goal is to have the cruise industry being net zero emissions by 2050. That's great. And I think that's really, really fun to think about too. So once again, keep that in mind too, because there are great things going on in the cruise industry in so many ways. Also, we have UNESCO, okay, and they have different World Heritage Sites, okay, and one that came up too recently, we talk about UNESCO World Sites. There's special places to go to, but once again, I know with because the UNESCO special sites, of course, in the world, but one that came up too is there's one cruise line, Paul Gauguin Cruises, and they're a fantastic cruise line, and what they're doing is they just named a place that they're going to be going to with their ships. And Paul Gauguin actually is going to visit 4 of these UNESCO as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Okay, they just mentioned this week. And once again, with the one is the Marquesas. They're just designated as an UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is joining Falcavara in the Tuamatis and Tea in the Society Islands, and they're recognized as a hotspot for diversity, exceptionally well conserved marine and terrestrial ecosystems too, and the archaeologically rich Marquesas and the surrounding Pacific waters are really called among the world's last marine wildest areas too. And the archipelagos, 12 different volcanic islands, only 6 are inhabited out of these 12 islands, and the embassy Paul Gauguin visits 4 of these, more than any other year-round luxury cruise ship in the region too. So definitely keep in mind about with the Paul Gauguin, because they're really, really fantastic company, and they were really focused on doing cruises in the Tahiti area too. Then of course, after with the pandemic, they actually acquired by another parent company, but they're still operating, which is great too. And when you think about UNESCO World Heritage Sites too, it's just a great way to really, really see different places of the world. And it's great because once again, with Paul Gauguin, they're actually visiting for these special UNESCO special heritage world sites too, which is great. Let me look at this too for a minute too. It's great though. They just announced that this week because once again, it's kind of a great way to see different places too. And I can share more about that in a future episode of Good Ship Happens. And as mentioned too, we got a lot of exciting news with the Victory Cruises, which is going to relaunch. They're sailing, of course, next year, but they got bookings open right now. They just opened bookings, I think, the end of July this year, but they're opening their bookings right now. They've got 2 different choices, which is great. And I think that's really exciting to see them reemerge with the 2 ships. And John Wagner, of course, decided that he wasn't done with his career and decided to purchase those 2 ships. And they're relaunching Victory Cruise Lines with the Victory 1 and Victory 2. And that's some special sailings, of course, too, but great places to visit too. And once again, too, is with the Explorer Journeys. That's the new ship coming out. Explorer 2 is coming out this year, I believe in September. That's part of the MSC group, but that's their luxury cruise line. And what's great too is they're offering some really kind of fun luxury cruise experiences in Caribbean, exclusive Caribbean destination experiences too for the guests too, which is great. And I mentioned some of the places they're going to, but more about what they're doing. For instance, with Williamstead Curacao, they've got within their Curacao Natural Wonders a voyage for learning. Guests can actually snorkel in the very reefs of the Director's Bay, which is great, which encounters an abundance of marine life there. And then people can actually learn more about the marine life too, and also about the foundation too, which is great. And Curaçao's got a beautiful, rich natural environment and includes a visit to the tranquil marine mangrove reservoir, which is accessible only by boat, hiking, swimming, and also immersion. Also, they've got, I mentioned more about what they're doing as far as the Saint-Pierre, Martinique, also the Lesser Antilles, which is located in the French West Indies. They've got this special privileged access and rum tastings on the Rum Clement estate. And it's a small group, so guests can actually discover, I think it's pronounced Martinican rum culture at Rum Clement. It's the birthplace of this special rum, and includes a guided exploration of the large estate, also lush gardens, a tour of 3 rum cellars, which is great, tastings of the barrel aged rum, which is actually paired with delicious craft foods too. So you can have food to eat too while you're also tasting the rums. And then in St. Bartholomew, they're offering this special beachside relaxation and lunch at Rosewood, and guests can spend the day at this beautiful 5-star Rosewood, it's called Rosewood Garani Resort, and guests can actually relax there too, and that's going to include a 3-course meal on a golden sandy beach, and the experience also includes lounging and luxury, snorkeling on a crystal clear Caribbean Sea, and then the ultimate in a beach side relaxation and culinary delight too. And then of course they've got something else in Mexico, okay, and they've got Progreso, Mexico. This is a special fatal journey, and guests can enjoy the Mayan city of Uxmal. It's known for their stunning architecture and celestial alignments too. They've got their pyramid of the Soothsayer, and they've got the Palace of the Governor. Also got the exclusive lunch and specialties that are open at the former Hacienda Church. And then they've got this authentic Mayan purification ceremony with the natural beauty of the city. Also with Cozumel, Mexico, they've got this exclusive flight Chitzania. Yes, special flight Chitzania. Highlights of this experience include a scenic 45-minute flight over the Caribbean Sea, and they go to Jago, landing minutes from the ruins. And arriving before the daily influx of visitors really allows more of a really, really intimate and immersive experience. And then the guide that goes with these people will actually lead guests through the history and also the architecture of the ancient city too. And guests can book these exclusive destination itineraries, through the Explorer Experience Center with their trail advisor if they're using one, or also directly with Explorer Journeys. As mentioned, with Explorer Journeys, they're privately owned, as mentioned, part of a family of the Embassy Group, which is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. And once again, they've got a fleet of 6 ships. They just started the first ship last year in 2023. They have 6 ships, including, of course, Explorer 2 coming out this year. And then the other ships will be coming out until 2028. And once again, it really was, their first ship actually started actually on July 24th last year. And once again, these are fitted with the latest environmental and marine technologies. And it really just a new style of ocean travel too. And they offer, with Explorer 1 plus the other ships 2 coming out, 461 ocean view suites, penthouses, and residences designed to really be homes at sea for guests. Also, they've got beautiful ocean views. They've got a private terrace, a choice of 11 different culinary experiences across 6 5 restaurants, plus in-suite dining, the chef's kitchen, which sounds fun, doesn't it? Chef's kitchen, 12 bars and lounges. They've got 8 indoor and 4 outdoor lounges, 4 swimming pools for guests to enjoy, extensive outdoor decks with 64 private cabanas. They've got wellness facilities on board too, plus they've got refined entertainment. And it really is, what they do is with Explorer Journeys, they really provide an immersive ocean experience, but also very respectful as far as hospitality too. And once again, the Explorer 2 is currently under construction. She's going to be coming into service in September, so about a month away. That's great too, isn't it? And then Explorer 3 is coming into service in 2026. The Explorer 4 is coming in 2027. And plus, these ships are actually powered by LNG. And the Explorer 5, Explorer 6 will be entering service in 2027 and 2028. So once again, keep that in mind, because once again, the Embassy Group is really, really proactive as far as sustainability. The cruise line industry is, period. But anyway, they're really moving forward to, and a good example, of course, was with their Ocean Cay Embassy Marine Reserve, which is great. I had a chance to be there for the christening of one of their ships. And with that experience, it was wonderful, because the family actually found this abandoned island, and they negotiated a deal with the Bahamian government to lease the island for 100 years. They paid them $100 million. And what they did was they invested $400 million themselves to get the island back up into shape, because it was a former manufacturing recycling place. They left things. They had to tow away scrap metal, and it was horrible. They had to rebuild the trees, and the ocean life was dead, and they gorgeous experience. And it's just really a fun place, beautiful place to think about going to, because it really is a great example of relaxing and just enjoying so much more too, which is really, really fun. Hi, Mark.
Hey there, trying to get on and everything. The computer's trying to act a little crazy, but all kinds of fascinating things happening in the cruise industry and everything. So you were just having a fascinating conversation.
Right. But I'm just excited about this event. I had a chance to watch it. I couldn't go to it in person up to Miami, but Rick Sasso, who's the chairman of Embassy Cruises USA, was there speaking. And it was great because, I've known him for years. He's actually in my third book. He's in my second book. He's in my third book I'm working on right now. And we text a lot, which is great too. But they're doing phenomenal things. And they're building a new pier at Port Miami. They're really focusing on Port Miami, and also with the economic impact which they're doing too, which is great too. So it's just great what they're doing too. I just really have great admiration for the company too, the parent company, their family owned, and this new thing that they're doing as far as their container, the special shipping containers they're using for food products, which is great. And they just
Yeah, I
announced
heard
it.
all those. I heard all those amount of eggs and those amount of dishes and everything on
Yes,
that report.
yes,
I
they
was going
tell
like,
her 32 million eggs. My gosh. I mean, oh my gosh.
that's a lot of eggs. That's a lot of
Well, that's on
different
all their
dishes.
ships, of course. On all their ships, of course, too. Not just on one ship. But my gosh, I can't think about 32 million eggs. I mean, how many eggs do you buy at the store, right?
Yep. And
Four
usually you get
eggs.
like maybe a dozen eggs or something like that, and
Right, right, right.
hopefully they last for a while. But that's a lot of eggs to be supposed to be having scrambled eggs and all those other dishes that come with it. Maybe even a omelet or something. But that's a
Right. But
whole lot of eggs.
I thought I saw the statistics that I gotta share these like crazy because this is really fun. 32 million eggs. I didn't think
Yep.
about that. I can't imagine what these chefs go through. I mean, they've got fantastic chefs sent to work with them and design the cuisine, whatever. Too, it's really great. But also, once again, with sustainability, they don't trash stuff in the ocean. Things that are unused, they put special areas. They recycle things like crazy when they get back. They're just going above and beyond as far as recycling and what they're doing as far as sustainability. And people need to know that more than ever.
Yep, they definitely got to know that and everything. I think, watching a TV show not that long ago. I think it was a Western, and I was like, wait a minute. I wonder if they got any Western themed cruises and everything. So that would be interesting if they ever have a cruise and nobody have them on the train, or if they have any cruises that are Western themed. Maybe you get to dress up as a cowboy or something like that.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure because they have themed cruises. I know I've got one friend. She has her own travel agency. She's great, but she does a special. She works primarily with one cruise line, but she always does a special cruise over Halloween.
Hmm.
So people can dress up as characters, and she dresses up beautifully, as does her boyfriend, her partner. They're really great, but they have a special Halloween cruise. People get dressed up like crazy.
Oh yeah, people get dressed up like crazy, and Halloween is not that far around the corner and everything. And
Right.
I know that a lot of folks be excited because as that other commercial that we play sometimes says, the some of the kids will be going to school. I know in year round, I think they go back in about a week and a half, 2 weeks or something like that. But that means that the parents can get ready to go on cruises because the kids will be taken care of by the school.
Right, exactly. But the thing is, I took mentioning that with the Virgin Voyages,
Hmm.
you have to be 18 years or older to sail. But what they did, they did a special promotion. Parents can take their kids, but once again, the kids have to be at least 18 years older
Right.
for a special promotional discount, which is great. So if you pass the age of 18, you can sail on Virgin Voyages with your parents. Right now, they're doing a special deal to give those parents a discount on the 18-year-old kids to sail with them, which means the kids under 18 still can't sail Virgin Voyages.
Don't remind
You
me about
can't go, right?
Sandy. Don't remind me about that because my nephew, I think it was last Tuesday or last Wednesday. It was last Tuesday. He turned 15. His younger brother this coming week will turn 16. And I was just talking to mom about that. I was telling her that that means that not this election, but the next election, my nephews will be of voting age and everything. So I'm going like, wait a minute. I remember when they were little babies. Now they're over there getting old and everything. So they just get older too
I
quick
know.
and everything. Because I literally remember when they were born in 2008 and 2009,
Right.
respectively. Now they're one just turned 15. That was the 2009 one, and the 2008 one will turn 16 in about 5 days. I think it's the
Right.
21st is his birthday and everything. So I'm going like, wait a minute. I remember when y'all were little munchkins. Now y'all are giant men.
I know, but that's fun too. That's good too. But once again, just the cruise industry, they've got some cruises more adult only, but once again, you've got cruise lines that are out there really cater to families, different ages, and there's so much to do. When I took that Disney cruise, the first year Disney came out, Disney Magic, I got on board with another business friend. I was working as a trail advisor, and we went together. It was amazing to experience it. We flew down a day before to spend a day at Disney World just because, a day or two before. Then we boarded the ship, and it was amazing to see the ship. They did such a great job. Plus, they had an adults only area just for us for entertainment at night. Okay. Also, which I like myself is I'm not big in casinos, right?
Right.
Disney does not have casinos on their ships.
No. Maybe we'll consider that because, like I said, I do know, and I got to check with my mom and my aunt, but I do know that they were thinking about, I think, sometime in either this year or 2025 going on a family cruise, which means that the
Right.
nephew will be going, me, my younger brother, and probably the two living aunts that are here with
Right.
mom because
Right.
one of the aunts has passed and
But
everything.
the
But I know that we're
entertainment,
talking about a family cruise in the near future. I don't think we'll do it this year, but it might be 2025
right, right.
and
But
everything.
they've
But I
got
got to get with mom on
fantastic
here.
shows and Disney themes like crazy. I mentioned the one coming out is going to have Hercules
Hmm.
with the villains and the heroes, which is great. But their entertainment shows are amazing. I mean, who doesn't like Disney entertainment? This is actually production shows.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and the characters right there with you all the time. Plus, what was really fun too is our private pool areas were great. They had pool areas for kids, but also the kids had their own programs to go to too during the day if they wanted to for different age groups, right? It's so funny because sometimes you talk to parents and their kids weren't with them, and you kind of say, okay, they said their kids were having so much fun they didn't want to come back with their parents.
Right.
They're having so much fun.
They're having too much fun.
And the thing is, too, as far as our dining, we just didn't stay in one dining room night after night after night. Not that it's bad, because cruise lines also have specialty restaurants too you can visit. In this case, we went to a different restaurant every night, different theme, and our waiter staff went with us.
Wow.
It was phenomenal. I mean, seriously, yes,
Sounds like fun.
it was. It was definitely a good thing to think about too if you're doing maybe a future, family type of event to cruise too. So keep it in mind too. So.
Whenever you're ready, I guess since we've been talking about it, we can go out with that Virgin Voyage as
That's
the
fine.
old.
Let's do that. Let's do that. That's good too. Yes, because if you're adult now, 18 older, your parents are getting a discount if you want to take you with them. But you have to be 18 years older, but they're offering some discounts for parents taking their kids that are 18 older.
So we'll go with the kids that were
Yes.
pregnant because they weren't 18 yet and
Yeah.
everything. So
Right.
we'll go out with
Yeah,
this
all that.
particular one and we'll be back next week with more exciting conversation about the cruise industry.
Yes. Great. Thank you.
No problem.
Mama, Papa, was your suitcase packed but not mine? How could you leave us kids behind? Parents are going on a cruise without us kids, and we know whose fault this is. Virgin Voyages says we can't cruise till we're 18, which makes us shake like we had caffeine. Virgin Voyages says no kids on the ocean, so we're causing a commotion. You'll be sipping cocktails under a starlit night while we're back home without an invite. Sure, you've earned a gourmet spread, but we're experiencing existential dread.
Adults, enjoy the cruise. We know you deserve it, but the fact we can't go is total bull.